What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to this week's movie, episode 122. We're talking about The Getaway from 1972. What's the lady's name? First name again? Is it
Ali MacGraw?
Ali MacGraw and Steve McQueen. Like it says in the title, doing their best Bonnie and Clyde impression. This is a crime thriller, I guess you'd call it. I almost want to call it a noir type flick because it has a lot of that feeling to it, but I don't think it's old enough or shot the right way to be called a noir, really. But
No.
it still has a lot of the same feeling to the movie.
Yeah.
This
It's
was
a
your
crime
pick?
thriller. Yeah. Like a lovers on the run type movie.
Yeah, it has a lot in common with stuff that we all like to read and watch. So I'm not sorry about that. I'm not super familiar with Steve McQueen, to be honest. Don't have an opinion on the guy.
Oh
What?
yeah. Was it? Oh, I thought you were kidding.
No, I don't know much about Steve McQueen. I've watched maybe one or two of his movies.
Oh.
I've seen, isn't he in Bullet?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen Bullet, and now I've seen this. That makes two McQueen movies I've seen. Never really cared for or against him. I never had an opinion, really, so I didn't know much about him. What's up, Zion? How you doing, man? Josh, what was Sam Peckinpah was the director, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that why? That's why you picked this one, I assume.
Yeah,
So-
that was my initial reason for it. Yeah.
Had everybody seen this movie already, or is this somebody? Is this okay?
I think it was an old
Brand new to
one.
me.
I'm so sorry, I didn't hear what happened.
Brand new to me. I haven't
Okay.
seen it.
Chris, you hadn't seen it either.
Nope.
Josh.
Yes, I'd seen it before.
Okay, so
but
you had
maybe
seen it. Okay.
like 10 years ago. It's been a long
Okay,
time.
that's a long while.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had never seen this movie, man. I don't know how to feel about it with one viewing, man. I think I'm just stuck in this perpetual having to rewatch movies, man, because the 85% of this movie bored me to tears. Like I was just having a hard time even staying awake. So maybe that's because I was really tired. I don't really know. I had a long day yesterday and I didn't sleep very well, and I had that meeting this morning. So
Yeah.
maybe it was lending to the fact that I was just really tired was helping me not stay awake very well. But it's a lot of dialogue, not much music, not much there's a lot of waiting and tension in this movie, which I mean, it's had it been a little shorter of a movie, I might have been able to power through it and just enjoy it more. But I liked it enough to want to rewatch it. I still have it for a couple of 36 hours on rental. So I'm gonna. Oh, what's up, Julie? So I'm probably gonna try to give it a rewatch in the morning while I'm working. So I'll be able to sort of pay attention to it. I may even just watch it at work if I have the time, because I've figured out that I have a lot of time to just kind of dick around at work when we're slow. I can't really leave the counter. So, but yeah, I don't really know how else to talk about it other than that. So what'd you guys think? Who liked it or didn't or loved it or whatever?
Yeah.
Josh,
Go
you
ahead,
picked it.
Josh,
How'd you
you
feel
picked
about
it.
it?
Oh, I like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that it had been a long time since I'd seen it, and it does take a while to get going. Took about 30 minutes to get to the initial heist.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes from there. From that point, I really enjoyed it, though.
I will say that the first half an hour was particularly hard for me to get through.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to set up the relationship between them because this is sort of a love story.
Oh, it's more about them than it is the heist.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so. Anyways, I feel you on that.
Yeah. It's a love story with the crime element, really, because
Yeah.
the whole movie is them, coming together, then this whole rift between them through the whole getaway, and then them, kind of rectifying the relationship at the end.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I thought the first 30 minutes kind of gave you a different expectation of what their relationship was like.
that's true.
And then once they get to the heist, you're like, oh, she's down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You could tell that from the get-go, though, because
Yeah.
she talks about what she did for him, and you're like, oh, you wouldn't do that if you weren't really. Well, I'll tell you this, man. They had absolutely no chemistry, man. Those two people were just I don't know if it's
they
just
got married after this movie.
Dude,
I'm gonna
that
disagree.
is amazing. I might clip that out and make a little short for that, 'cause that's funny. Dude, are you serious?
I'm serious. Actually, they
The
I
had
thought
whole-
they had a
an
lot
affair.
of chemistry.
Yeah.
The
had an
whole
affair.
movie, I was like, these people don't know what they have. No, I thought they had. I don't even think, man. It's objective.
Yeah.
They have no chemistry in this film. It's terrible. But that's
I
funny,
remember
bro.
turning
That
to
dude, that might
Josh.
actually make kind of make sense though.
I remember turning to Josh and saying, "Man, they have a lot of on-screen chemistry."
Wait,
And
really?
then Josh was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
they got married after this movie."
Yeah, Hugh came over on Sunday and we watched the movie together.
You cuddle afterwards?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Held hands the whole time.
I thought it was really good, man. I thought, the beginning was really nostalgic to me, and I'm in finance, so watching all the goofy bank tellers and all the like lack of security and
Yeah.
the big bad vault, I was like, "Ah!"
They were cutting the bars of the vault with like just bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Man.
Like,
I'm like, that's not stopping anybody these days. And then, the whole idea of getting away with a robbery, like a bank robbery, is impossible, I think, today.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have some heat style stuff, like going into the tunnels and running through the homeless shelters and then finally emerging on the other side. But these guys like, oh, we're at Sonic. The cops made us. We're having a big shootout,
Well, I mean,
shooting tires. Oh, we still made it to Mexico.
everything is different in 1972. That's 50 years ago. I mean,
That's
yeah,
what I thought was so cool about it.
I mean, it was cool for about 20 minutes. The rest of the movie was really slow. It just didn't. There wasn't like none of the stuff that they talked about. I really had a problem with them on screen together. So I think that has most of my opinion about the movie is due to that, I would say. And then the pacing wasn't for me today. I don't know that. I still think it was a well-made movie. I like Steve McQueen, but he's kind of a dick. And I don't know if he was like that in real life. What's up? What's up?
He's definitely a dick. Yeah.
Is he?
No.
I don't
Yeah,
do. I like I said, bro. Second time I've ever seen him on a movie. Don't really care about him. Never been a big. You're much more of a '70s movie fan than I am. I fall way more into the '80s stuff. So bigger, louder, bombastic, ridiculous, and really bad CG. That's where I start to like really love movies.
Mhm.
But I could tell.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
It did have a slower pace. It did have a.
And it's okay. But I was watching it knowing that I wasn't going to just completely shit on it based solely on the fact that I knew you were going to enjoy watching it, Josh. I was like, man, Josh, this is definitely Josh's kind of movie. And so I definitely paid more attention. And like, if I was getting sleepy, I'd stop and like rewind it a little bit because of that. I wanted to watch the whole movie. I do, I just watched it about an hour and a half ago and I rewound a couple more parts and rewatched them a little bit. It wasn't like I was uninterested in it. That's not, because sometimes that is the case. Sometimes I'm not interested in a movie at all. I love stories like this. So I would be willing to bet on a rewatch. I might like it a little bit more knowing what I'm getting into. It's the case with a lot of movies these days. You kind of have to watch them go, oh shit. Okay. I need to watch it from a different vantage point. I learned a lot from reviewing albums now that almost everything that I'm doing, I can't just do it once anymore. I don't get the right feeling from it. I'm so all over the place with stuff that if I try to just listen to or watch something once and give it a legitimate review, I'm probably going to make a mistake or change my mind later to some degree.
Yeah. I love the sort of hangout nature of 70s movies because you get so much like texture.
I did like that. I did like that part of it.
And this was shot in like, I think the prison part was Huntsville, Texas. And
I actually knew that.
It's in like Santa Marcos.
I did like that part of it though. Sorry, Hugh, go ahead.
Very Texas movie. You could just, I mean, I'm like, I can relate to sitting everywhere sweating, sitting in my car, sweating,
bro,
walking around sweating. And
there was lots to like about it. You're right. I mean, there was me, I'm diehard Texan, bro. I definitely liked that. I don't dislike the movie at all. I just was, man, the title is The Getaway, bro. They didn't get away from anything, man. They sat there. And I understand, like you said, it's like a slow, but like I did like the fact that when and this is such a stupid thing for me to like, but Josh is gonna roll his eyes probably. I liked when they were eating the burger that he ate the burger like a normal ass human being would and had like shit on his face. I liked that they didn't go, all right, stop, no, redo that, man. Make sure you're no. He just ate it and it was like if you're in a car with somebody eating it, that's what it's gonna look like. And I liked that girl was driving like a maniac. That was cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of Peckinpah does like really like authentic, like he really focuses on little details.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like that. Like there's a lot of just like odd little characters that in any other movie they would never have a line that just they're all like a whole person.
Yeah.
Like Slim Pickens at the end, the guy that drives them to Mexico.
That
Like,
was awesome.
Yes, that guy was awesome.
there's like I was okay. So I read a whole book about Peckinpah, and I went back and reread the chapter on this movie before we got on, and there was basically no lines for him in the script at all. He basically just ad-libbed all that, like him picking up the rock and throwing it. They just, that's all stuff that he just decided to do. Like Peckinpah's really good at finding these like kind of rough, like country type guys that have lived real lives. Yeah. And just kind of, letting them figure out their characters.
I will say, because I do want to point out things that I appreciated about this movie, because I don't want to just be negative. I'm really trying to get a grip on how I review stuff, man. And I did sincerely, the last 15 minutes of it, a lot, enough to where it really pulled. Because I'll tell you, if I had stopped it and hadn't been able to finish it for some reason and only got 3/4 of the way in, I probably would have just ripped this apart. But I finished the whole movie, and I really liked the end. You know me, man. I got the romantic crap tattooed on me, man. I liked that they were scooting away, and that they overpaid him for that truck, so he'd just be happy. And when he said, "How much do you make this year?" and he said $5,000, dude, I cried. I was like, $5,000. I was like, oh my goodness, did I make that in a couple of months? That's crazy. And we were still struggling. I can't imagine what it was like living on that kind of money and things costing what they cost back then. It would just be a weird, system shock. But
she bought that car for $5,000. It was $5,200 or something.
I thought it was $2,800. It was $2,800.
It was pretty cheap, yeah, something like that. It was not much.
It was $2,800, and was it a new car?
Yeah,
I thought it was a used car for some reason. Okay, that makes it even more crazy. But the last thing that I'll say before I let y'all talk some more is I want to tell you that I really enjoyed the thing that pulled me back into the movie, because it lost me for a while, was when they started having the shootout and Steve McQueen was shooting with that shotgun, and it was real clear that he was shooting the shit out of some cars. I was like, oh, okay. I forgot this is 72. They didn't really have the look. They were get out of the way, guys. We're going to blow holes through stuff, and he's shooting the crap out of stuff. And it was clearly a shotgun shooting stuff. I thought it looked really good, man. I thought it was very realistic. And I thought that's something we're missing now from movies. When you see all this stuff, even John Wick stuff looks cool, doesn't look like that. That shit looks scary, bro. You're like, oh man, you see that car driving by, you're like, something happened to them.
I love the whole scene where he goes into the pawn shop to buy the radio, and then his face shows up on the TV, and he just he's so this is why Steve McQueen's so cool. His expression almost doesn't change at all. He just walks out and then walks next door and goes and gets a shotgun and then just starts shooting tires and shit. Not even phased by it. Just
he's a weird cat, man. That dude's I don't know if I like him, man. I didn't like him in Bullet, but I liked the movie. I didn't really like him in this movie, but I enjoyed the movie. I think I just don't really care for him. Maybe he's intimidating, because he kind of is. He's kind of a, you're like, oh jeez, bro, calm down, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah. Not a bad actor though. I didn't, that woman was beautiful, by the way. Whoa. His wife. Oh goodness, bro.
What about Sally Struthers?
Yeah, I assume you didn't mean Sally Struthers.
No, bro.
Dude, Sally Struthers.
Dude, are you serious? No, dude.
You don't want to have that kind of relationship where you're just throwing ribs at each other.
Oh man, I blocked that cartoon ass dude out of my head already, man. That guy almost ruined the damn movie. He's like, I
love all of that stuff. It's so weird. I totally forgot about all that stuff in the movie.
I tried to. Thank you for reminding me.
Him cucking the veterinarian guy.
Weird.
It's so strange, and then he hangs
that
himself.
That whole side story is just very weird. You really don't know what.
And then he just shows up at the end and gets shot. So it's what were they billing him for?
That guy, he just looked so ridiculous to me. He looked like a wrestler. That's what he reminded me of, a WWE guy. He's the same shape too. He's a big guy, but not super, defined necessarily. I did think it was kind of funny when they were throwing food at each other in the car, and he's ruining her clothes. But then they started laughing, and as soon as it happened, I went, "Uh-oh, he's gonna get pissed off because she's gonna go too far. Not too far, not really, but he's gonna get all butthurt about it. And sure enough, he gets all pissed off. Did she hit him in the chest with it? Is that what happened?
Something,
But
yeah.
that poor guy's driving, and I thought, man, if I was driving a car and these two idiots were throwing food around me, I would wreck the car and kill us all. like, bro.
For real, like, yeah, he should have did something. Poor guy.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Hugh.
Sorry, that was
Or
me.
Chris, I'm sorry, I was just listening, not looking.
It's all right. Yeah, I was gonna say I like this a lot more than I thought I would. Actually, not that I had any particular reason for thinking I might not like it, but I watched Straw Dogs not too long ago, and also The Wild Bunch. So this is my third Peckinpah. I think if I'd actually watched this first, I might be a little more on your side, Randy. It probably wouldn't have done a whole lot for me. But after watching those other two, like, I don't know, it's not as good a movie as Straw Dogs, but it's more enjoyable. Straw Dogs is very much a downer. So yeah, this one is a little more enjoyable, and I was surprised at how much I like kind of got invested in the story. And every time they like kind of got close to him and they took off and ran off and done something, like it got kind of tense. And I don't know, I just didn't think it would have had that much of effect on me as I was watching.
At no point in this movie did I think that they were in any kind of peril. I didn't feel like, I felt a little tension, but it was more like the tension was between the two of them to me, more so than like between somebody chasing them and them. I do feel pretty strongly that if this movie was like a whole half hour shorter, I would have really liked it a lot. The fact that it was paced the way it was and it was as long as it was really made it hard for me to like. Man, that's so long, dude. Like for a movie of this pacing to be that long is hard.
2 hours is not that long.
It is to me.
Okay.
Did you like Straw Dogs, Chris?
Yes and no. It is a fantastic movie. It's well made. Like everything about it is great. But it's not a fun movie to watch. I mean, I'll bring it back to Irreversible. Like,
oh snap!
I like Irreversible, but it's not a fun movie. It's a depressing movie. Straw Dogs is kind of the same. Like, I appreciate it a lot more than I enjoy it. But
Josh
whatever.
loaned it to me, so that's why I'm asking.
It's telling me 2 hours as long as if he doesn't know that I routinely watch movies that are 70 minutes long.
Yeah,
2 hours is a long ass movie to me.
Okay.
I don't think Tubi has.
I'm getting pissed off, man. Calm down.
I'm not pissed off. Fuck off. I'm not pissed off.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm curious to what you think about Straw Dogs because it's an interesting watch. For sure. I just listened to the new Tarantino podcast episode. They did a whole episode on it, and them talking about it. I kind of shared a lot of their opinions on it, but listening to them talk about it, I have a lot more appreciation for it.
Yeah, it's got a lot to it.
I'm excited to watch it for sure.
I think you'll like it, Hugh.
I'm tearing up some Peckinpah. I think Peckinpah's the man.
There's a lot under the surface that I think you'll really appreciate.
And there's a movie that's kind of near and dear to my heart, Papillon. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's got Steve McQueen in it. It's about a prison break. I guess McQueen does a lot of like prison break kind of movies, or he's an ex-con kind of movies. But it's pretty good. They did a redo of it. It's horrible. I wouldn't go watch the Charlie Hunnam one, but man, Papillon is kind of slow paced and kind of it's a 70s movie too, but I've seen it a bunch. It was like one of those TNT movies that was on when I was a kid all the time at the grandparents' house, and here comes Papillon. It was good, but McQueen's in that. He's the star of that. I think it's Dustin Hoffman,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So highly recommended. But you got to know what you're getting yourself into there.
Yeah, same thing with Straw Dogs. Like it's slower than this for sure. It's very slow. And then the last, I don't know, say 30 minutes or so, because it's another 2 hour. I think it's right at about 2 hours.
I think it's right around 2 hours.
It all kind of like ramps up. It's like it slowly kind of ramps up, and then all of a sudden just shoots up in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tension throughout, personally, but
there is. But just it was a little. I mean, they weren't like robbing banks and cops, so it's slower tension.
Dustin Hoffman.
Here comes Julie. Thanks, Julie.
I don't really like Dustin Hoffman much, but he's a good actor. I can't recall anything that he's in that I just like.
I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah, I don't really care for him.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I was surprised at how much. Well, he's a terrible character in Straw Dogs, but he's really good
he's a despicable character.
He's really good in it. So it's probably one of his better roles.
Hoffman's in Straw Dogs too.
Yeah. He's the main character. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen Straw Dogs, Randy?
No, sir.
There's a remake of that too.
I will, based on what y'all are saying. It just sounds like something I won't enjoy. So,
yeah, if you didn't like, I think Getaway is a little more accessible.
Yeah.
I liked Getaway. I just wish I wasn't so tired, and I genuinely disagree about the chemistry thing, but whatever. I don't care. I didn't get that from that movie. So I was the whole time. I thought you were joking, dude. Because the whole movie, I was literally. That's the one thing that I wanted to make sure I said because I thought y'all would be like, yeah. It was pretty bad. So, maybe
I kind of feel you on McQueen though, because in Papillon too, I wouldn't say he's like deadpan, but he is really flat. And I don't know if it's like the 70s or machismo or something like that, but he doesn't show a lot of reaction or emotion.
He's not the best actor. He was a movie star. He was like he had I don't know who to compare him to, but he was just the guy. He's like a Tom Cruise type guy. He was never a character. He was just Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
I never cared for that movie either. I think it's Hoffman. I just don't think I like him.
Graduate's great.
Graduates, go Julie, bring in the thunder.
I've never seen it.
I
think because I'm not a huge Dustin Hoffman fan. I mean, I might like it.
I was just looking at his stuff. The only movie that I do think that somebody that I didn't realize I liked as much as I do until Josh talked about him so much was Gene Hackman. That dude's in everything he's in is awesome. But the only Dustin Hoffman movie that I actually think I like and that I knew he was in it and I watched it knowing that was Runaway Jury. But that's because I read the book first, and the book is amazing. So. That movie is but I was watching that one out because of John Cusack and Gene Hackman. I just happen to like Dustin Hoffman's character in it as well. It's usually like
he was pretty annoying.
I don't know what it is about him, man. He seems like a reasonable guy. I don't know. I've never heard anything. I love you, Bob. I'll see you tomorrow. I never heard anything bad about him or anything, so I don't really know what it is about him. It might just be his face. I mean,
he's also an asshole. Yeah. He's like a super what do you call it? He's like
kind of weaselly character in a lot of movies.
Yeah, well, he was one of those actors that was like super intense and always in character and like.
I've actually heard that before. Now that you mention it,
a method actor, kind of a method actor. Yeah.
Maybe I just haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I'm looking at his filmography.
If you watch The Graduate, I genuinely would like to hear your opinion on that movie. No. I'm not surprised Josh likes it. I'm a little surprised Hugh likes it though.
All the President's Men is a good one too.
I didn't hear you.
All the President's Men.
I don't think I've seen that one actually.
Political thriller.
Maybe I have.
About Watergate.
Yeah, you said that. And I thought, maybe I have. Let me look at the cover of it.
Hook.
Me.
I've seen Hook.
Oh, dude, that was that fool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Captain Hook.
Okay, no, I have not seen All the President's Men. Oh, yes, I have. It's got
Redford.
Yeah, Robert Redford in it. Yeah. I like that fool, man. Robert Redford's cool, man. I like him because as he got older, his face just got cooler looking. Like he's got one of those faces that I like a lot. Where like Bill Murray's got a similar face where it's just like real, just Tommy Lee Jones, that kind of face.
I'm a big fan of that movie, The Natural, baseball movie.
The French Connection. Oh, and The Natural. That's a good movie.
Natural's great too. Yeah.
I always felt the same about Martin Short. Don't know why.
Ooh.
I just
what
never been a fan of his face.
Oh yeah, no, there's some people with faces like that.
Yeah,
no, that's what I think my problem with
I don't like him.
Shithead is. I just don't like his face.
Yeah, I have zero to base that on.
Dude, there's people that I see on a regular basis that when I see their face, I go, they're not unattractive necessarily. I just don't like the way it looks. It makes me irritated. But I'm an idiot, so.
It would suck to have a face like that.
I had. You're welcome, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, and my favorite scene when Steve McQueen punches Sally Struthers in the face. She's like screaming
in the hallway.
Yeah, when the guy that's chasing them with Sally Struthers, they go to the
comes
hotel.
around the back door.
Yeah, and she just starts screaming after he freaking hits her with the gun, and he just pops her in the face, and I laughed very hard.
The other guy walks by her when she's like, "Have you seen?" Like, I forget the guy's name, but have you seen what's his name? And he's like, "I haven't seen him."
He's a shut up, dumb broad.
Yes, shut up, you dumb
Called her
broad.
a dumb broad.
I do like the gunshot. Oh, I thought she was going to get naked a bunch of times, but then I remembered it was a PG movie. I thought, maybe not naked.
Was it a PG movie?
It was PG movie. Yes.
Damn,
that's kind of crazy because there's a lot of deaths in it.
Yeah, and cops getting shot at and stuff.
I mean, people that were rating it just fell asleep during it, and they're like, "Fuck, that must have been pretty tame." PG. I liked that old buddy woke up when there was gunshots happening. I thought that was kind of accurate, actually. You know, like you ain't sleeping through that shit, man. Like I've been around gunshots. You're not sleeping through that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but there was a lot to like about the movie. I definitely want to watch it again. I'll have to pick out a day where I have some time to carve out, and I think I might benefit from splitting it up, like watching it in an hour, grab something to eat, go take a leak or whatever, and stretch out my legs. I'm getting to where I can't sit still, man. Like it's my feet are just going right now. I can't sit still anymore, man. And so I think maybe I'll just split it up. I liked it enough to rewatch it, possibly buy it. It's a good movie. I just didn't. I was hoping I was going to really love it, man. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but I didn't read a synopsis or anything, so I didn't know if it was going to be I didn't read anything about it. I just play. I try to not do that with these movies. I'm trying to not get into them before I get into them. That might be, you know, detrimental to my, enjoyment maybe. But
I kind of thought that it maybe have been one that you had seen before. Like, it seems like something you might have seen with your dad.
Dude, I'm kind of surprised I haven't watched it too. And you know what? To find out that maybe I sat in my dad's lap and watched it wouldn't shock me at all. I just don't have any recollection of it. My dad would have loved this movie. That's for damn sure. That might have been why I actually liked it as much as I did, because it really felt like something I would have watched with my dad. Yeah. Like my mom, I talked to her on the phone today, and I asked her about it, and she said she liked it too.
Okay.
So I feel like I might have watched it at home as a kid or something.
It was a hit at the time. It was a pretty big hit.
My mom pulled the names out immediately. Oh yeah,
Ellie McGraw.
Ellie McGraw and Steve McQueen. I was like, yeah, and I brought up the fact that he looked like he was 45 and she looked like she was 22. My mom was like, no, and I sent her a picture. She goes, oh, and I went, yeah. she's like, yeah, 1972, and I said, yeah.
Yeah. Not that
but I just thought it was kind of funny. Doesn't bother me, and you don't care. Do what you want. But that woman was she was striking, man. I that kept my attention a lot when I was like kind of wanting to get on my phone.
Yeah.
Her on screen, dude, she was beautiful, man. And I just thought, wow. She reminded me of somebody. She reminded me of the girl that Paul Walker dates in the Fast and the Furious movies, just like similar. The facial features, they look kind of similar, man.
Yeah, I don't know that chick's name, but
I don't know her name either. But they have a similar face. I'm sorry, Hugh.
The Jordana Brewster.
That might be who I'm talking about.
Sounds right.
Yeah, she does kind of look a little Jordana Brewster.
I can definitely see that.
I just saw her and was like, oh, she looks like she could be that girl's mom. But I think that girl's fairly attractive as well. And I just thought, wow, okay. And man, I got me wanting to watch some Gene Hackman movies now. Bro, I like that. Do what?
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of good ones too. You know another character actor that I like a lot is Delroy Lindo. You ever watch him?
Yeah,
I've heard the name.
He was in a lot of heist style stuff. He plays a cop a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a voice, dude. Like I don't know. I like it. It's like it's an attractive voice. Like you hear him and you go, oh, that guy sounds cool. And then he says a lot of cool stuff. He's got cool slang. What's up, little dude?
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo was in Heist with Gene Hackman and Danny DeVito, and I love that movie. Say hi.
I don't think I've seen that
Blood
one.
of Heroes. Blood in, Blood Out too.
Dude,
he's in a bunch of Spike Lee movies too.
I love you.
Yeah.
See you, little. Okay. Say
rawr. Yeah, I know. I've seen him in some stuff.
No monster tonight.
Yeah, he was in. What was
You're
that?
a monster.
Spike Lee movie.
He was in the newest one, right? The Five Bloods.
The Five Bloods. Yeah.
I love you.
Because I recognized him when I watched that, but
he's a character actor. Like he's not like he very rarely leads a movie, but he's always good.
Yeah,
one of those guys.
He's going honk honk. I was just trying to give him a nice scream when he left the room because he tends to want to sit in my lap for like an hour.
Randy, if you want to watch a good Gene Hackman movie that's underrated, I know you like noirs. He did a 70s like neo-noir called Night Moves. It's like a Florida neo-noir. It's like most of it takes place out in the Keys. Very good movie.
I've heard of this.
Too long.
Never seen
Too long. I'm sure it is.
Damn it.
I'm sure it's at least 2 hours.
It's over
It's an hour and 40 actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's on Prime. You have to rent it on Prime. I'll see if I can find somewhere. Melanie Griffith. I always thought she was cool back in the day. James Wood's in it. I'm in, dude. I am a James Wood fan. That guy is so ridiculous.
I forgot.
Melanie Griffith.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I really do think I'm pretty close to the same kind of fan as you with Gene Hackman, man. I love that dude. Like he's been one of those guys that ever since I was young, if he was in something, I was like, that guy seems like kind of a badass. I was watching something the other day. I wish I could remember who the actor was. Also, thank you, Julie. That said that Gene Hackman. There was a scene where they were talking, and he like smacks the crap out of this dude. And they just kept filming, and the guy says, dude, that was not in the script. He just walked up and slapped me in the face, and I just was like, And so I just kept trying to roll. Yeah, and I was like, that's crazy, dude.
That's why the 70s is awesome, because the shit like that happens.
You're not wrong, sir. You're not wrong.
Oh, so speaking of that, in the Getaway, he like just pulls the car over and starts slapping the shit out of Ally McGraw at one point.
Bro.
Doesn't stop.
There was some wild stuff in that movie where I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I was telling Josh, I was like, dude, that's on the side of the road. Like,
right? Oh, no one's going to mess with them. It's the 70s, man.
I've seen that happen on the side of the road.
No.
A guy just beating the living crap out of some woman, and we pulled over, and then they drove off. I was like, we slowed. We were like, I think it was at like a big giant stop sign thing on the way to Austin, and we were like slowing down to a stop sign. This dude was just, I'm talking like wailing on this woman, and like we slowed down and like looked over at him, and he like saw us look, and then we busted a U-turn and came back around, and then they got up and they took off. I'm not gonna follow him to Austin, but like it was like I was like, dude, we gotta help that lady out. I was fully prepared to get punched in the face. I was like, this is gonna suck. And he was a coward. He just drove off. But like, yeah, dude, you see some wild crap in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that was like, dude, like 15 years ago. I was in my 20s when that happened. But like, yeah, dude, yeah, man, people are wild. Dude, check this out. When I was like 19 years old, I was working at a restaurant. I was waiting tables, and this dude comes in, black fella, dressed real sharp, dude, like. Clearly a pimp, I'll just say it, right? Has another woman with him, a black woman, beautiful woman, man. But she's wearing like this crazy tiny little dress. They come walking in, right? And I was like, oh, I'll take them because it was kind of sludge. I'll grab 2 menus. And then I see another person. I said, oh, is she with y'all? And they said, yes. And so I grabbed the 3rd menu and I set it down. And I look at the white woman, dude, 2 huge black eyes. I mean, like raccoon eyes, right? He tells me, we're going to have this and this. I don't remember what it was. Some kind of, steak and burger. And I think she got some shrimp or something. And they got glasses of wine. And he looks at her. And dude, this woman wouldn't even look up. She was sitting like this. And he's like, she'll have a salad and a glass of water. And I was like, oh, my God. Bro, I didn't talk to them at all. I was like, here's your food. Here's your stuff. Have a good night, guys. You need anything else? Let me know. I was like, I'm getting out of here, bro. I was scared of that guy. He was that kind of intimidating. I was like, I felt so – dude, I was very young. I was like, is this real? Like, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, dude, just looked like he just laid into her. I don't know, bro. Anyways.
Good talk.
Yeah, never come across anything like that.
Dude, go work off a 290 in Mangum, you will.
Right.
I was at Bennigan's on 290 in Mangum, dude. Just anything you can come up with, it probably happened there.
Just go sit at any diner, after like 10 o'clock.
Go to Waffle House on Highway 710 for like, I don't know, 2-3 hours. You'll see a fist fight, some prostitutes, maybe, I don't know, a couple of truck drivers getting it in. Some weird stuff. Yeah, at that same Bennigan's, I that was the first time I ever came into like contact with a large amount of cocaine. My boss was in the back, and I guess she thought she had locked the door, and I needed some help, and I just opened it up. I wish I could remember her name, and she came up off this table, and there was like a Tony Montana mountain of it on there, and I was like,
Wow.
No, and then she like comes and grabs me, and at the time I smoked cigarettes, and she's like, let's go smoke a cigarette, and we're outside, and she's like, you could not tell. She had the shit all over her nose, and she's like, you could not tell anybody. I was like, I'm not gonna tell nobody anything, man. Like I don't. You know, if you want to drop some of that in a bag and give it to
You
me,
might
though,
want
like,
to
that'd be
clean up
cool.
your face, but
Right?
I'm not gonna say
You might want to go wash. You might want to go to the washroom. Like you might want to go have a look in a mirror and not to lean down and snort something off of it either. Like, yeah, that place was like the movie Waiting. When I see that movie, I feel like it's the Bennigan's I worked at. Like that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Good times, man. I had fun when I was young, but it was a lot of stupid shit happening all the time.
Restaurant life.
Let's go. Yeah, I am glad I watched this movie. I'm glad that you picked it. The length of it I think was only a chore because I was so tired. I do believe if I was like, man, I couldn't sleep last night. I knew I had that meeting this morning. I ended up going and watching Ant-Man at midnight, knowing I had to be up at 8:00. Like that's how much I couldn't sleep. My brain was like, I was nervous and just, you know how it is. You have something you don't want to do like that. I was just like, ugh.
You voluntarily watched Ant-Man?
Dude. Solid flick, bro. I don't know anything. I haven't watched any. I never
getting some bad buzz. Not that means anything. I
can understand why people may not like it, but I would imagine that people are embellishing their hatred on stuff like I don't like the cast very much personally. I still don't. Like I just don't. But the first like 20 minutes, if you can't make it past that, you're not gonna like the movie because there's some dumb shit in the first like 20 minutes. And I will say that there's a little bit of spotty CG. But overall, I think they took some chances that I thought were pretty fun. And as much as I don't give a crap about Marvel movies, that might be why I enjoyed it because I didn't have any expectations at all. I just thought like, well, this is probably going to be terrible. And I watched it. I was like, oh, it was fun. Like it wasn't a 10 out of 10, but it certainly wasn't a 2 either. So, probably somewhere in a, 6 maybe. It was nothing terrible, but nothing great. Just serviceable. If you have a way to watch it, it ain't gonna cost you anything except your time. I'd say watch it. If you're gonna go pay $15, I'd say avoid it.
Yeah, like I was kind of on the fence, and then seeing the kind of negative stuff has been getting like, I might wait on this one.
Do you think they did some really cool shit with all the? Well, I can't really say it. With stuff that they did, there's some cool stuff that they did. Bro, I almost ruined a bunch of stuff in that movie.
The good thing about all these is they all show up on Disney Plus in like 4 months. So
yeah, this is one that if you want to watch on Disney Plus, I think you'll probably enjoy it more that way than spending a bunch of money to go out with somebody and watch it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I did enjoy it though. I think Paul Rudd's great. I like the daughter. I thought I was going to hate her because I don't really know much about her, and I didn't think it was a good casting. And in the movie, she does a great job. So I was pretty surprised by that.
Well, they swapped her out. She was in the second Thanos movie was Endgame. Yeah.
Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't pay enough attention to know any of that stuff, so I don't know. I just know that I didn't like her when I saw the trailer. I thought, and then I also thought like, oh, her part in the movie is going to be stupid based on what I saw in the trailer. This is all right, man. Like, what are they really going to do now in these movies? I really feel like they should just stop. Like. Like, give us a good long breather and then come back with something that's not freaking Ant-Man. Like,
they probably should have done that.
I mean, like, Ant-Man, like, are we really doing Ant-Man blockbusters? I just don't understand that when we have, just other stories that would be fun. I mean, I don't know, man. The Guardians of the Galaxy movie looks pretty fun. That Flash movie looks like it's going to be something I might actually enjoy because I like that story so much. Yeah. And if Michael Keaton's in it even a little bit, I'm interested in at least watching it once.
Yeah.
But man, all these comic book movies, I'm just kind of over it, dude. I've been for a while. I tried to get optimistic about them, being that I work at a theater now, but it's hard when you sit down and watch them and they just continuously underwhelm. They're not necessarily bad, but you're like, you have all this money and you couldn't do this with it. You had to go this. Like, what are you? I mean, I don't know. There was some cool stuff in it though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the bigger comic fan of the four of us, and even I'm like, doesn't look good. I'm not that particularly excited about Guardians, and
the Guardians one looks awesome, but I'm just Dave Bautista nut rider all of a sudden. I just like that guy a lot now.
I'm kind of just waiting on X-Men at this point. I think.
Wait, there's an X-Men movie coming?
Not yet, but they're gonna just.
I was like, okay, cool. I'm into that.
I'm just kind of waiting
Hugh
on
Jackman's going to play old man Logan.
that.
I'd be into that though. I'd watch Hugh Jackman play Wolverine at age 74.
He's supposed to be in Deadpool, right?
I think so.
God, yes, he's supposed to be. Now that I'll sign up for that. I'll take that. Yeah, dude, we're a few weeks away from Scream 6. Unfortunately, I'll be a year older when it comes out, but whatever. But I'm stoked for that. I'm stoked for the Evil Dead Rising. That looks like it's going to be, or is it Rise? Rise. Whatever it is, the new Evil Dead movie. I'm excited for that. There's some good stuff coming out, man. I don't know. I'll be honest, dude. There's last couple of movies I've watched. There's been some good ones, man. It's kind of surprised me, but last year had so many good movies. I'm still kind of riding high from 2022.
Yeah.
I kind of think you'll like Outwaters. I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I said I kind of think you'll like Outwaters. If you like Skinamarink, it's sort of like an experiential horror movie. Lots of stuff off screen, screams and shit like that. Found footage.
I'll watch about anything. I'll give you anything,
Yeah.
but I'll say this with Skinamarink. I don't know that I even liked the movie so much as I appreciated it and understood what they were doing.
How's the chemistry in Outwaters?
Terrible.
Because if it's not good, you know.
I think the alien, like, there's some kind of weird alien shit going on or something. They don't really ever tell you. It's one of those like really erroneous type movies like Skinamarink, where you're just there for the experience and doesn't really make any fucking sense. So
Cool.
Oh, Chris, I did want to mention to you, I have given that Thrice album another couple of listens, and something that I did not know on the first 3 entire listens, I listened to this album 3 times completely. And I was like listening to it, and I was like, dude, this sure does sound like Chuck Reagan.
Yes, I told you that in like.
I'm positive you did. Are you at all surprised that I don't remember that?
No.
I was like, because like I was listening to it, and I was like, man, and then something told me to check the silly thing, and it might have been remembering a conversation we had. And I looked back at it, and I was like, oh man, I need to re-listen to this from a different vantage point. It's just going to be that for the rest of my life, I guess. But yeah, I still don't think it's as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I have a newfound appreciation for it because it's weird. When I first started listening to the original version of it again to do a review, I thought in my head, man, this band, I never realized how much they remind me of Hot Water Music. Like that actually went through my head. So it really caught me off guard when I saw Chuck Reagan's or Hot Water Music on the thing. I was like, oh man, they do have a lot in common sonically. Like,
yeah, I think like one of their first big tours was with Hot Water Music way back in the day. So they kind of like credit them for kind of helping them break out a little bit.
That's awesome. I mean, I like Hot Water enough to get a Hot Water Music tattoo. Like that's a band I truly enjoy. Like they'll end up on those no skip albums lists eventually for me. I've got 3 lists coming, but they're pretty different. I'm excited. But anyways, so Hugh, you're gonna close this chapter of the podcast for a few weeks. I'm gonna say probably till the end of March. What maybe not that long, a couple weeks. What you got for us?
I'm gonna pick. Let me get the name right because I keep saying something different every time. It's called Fresh. It's on Hulu.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty new, right?
Yes, I did a review on that one on my channel. It's a good movie.
Oh, did you?
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen it.
I'm actually curious to hear your opinion, Josh.
I've heard pretty good things about it.
It's with
Sebastian Stan.
Yes,
Sebastian
that
Stan,
guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I love this movie.
Okay, yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm ready to watch it. That's a great pick, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was interested in checking it out, and I just never got around to it when it came out.
Let me double check my schedule to make sure it's Tuesday that I'm off.
I got to plug another series of movies that I watched this week, though. The Evangelion movies.
Yeah. Tuesday night we'll be doing this one. So what were you saying to you? I'm sorry.
I was saying Evangelion, the movies I watched.
Anime.
4 of them in the last couple days. Been down on my rear end with migraines, so all I've done is watch TV when available. And man, these freaking things, if you're a sci-fi person, they're very much like, oh, turn the fuck up. No, we got this going. I mean, it's that kind of movie, but
great.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, you can't understand what the hell they're talking about because it's all like mechanical, like jargon. But there's just like, it's just visually just
it's like
madness.
mech battles, right?
Mech battle,
robot
yeah.
fights.
Big creatures that are fighting and just like explosions and swirly things and digital shit popping at you. I mean, it is really something. But it's like, and then it tries to like go into these like little tender moments on top of that.
Little tenderonis.
Yeah, little emo tender moments. But I mean, it was really something. I watched all 4 of them. I'm watching the series now.
Yeah, it sounds up my alley. I might check it out. I've heard of the series, and I guess the movies are kind of like part of the series condensed a little bit, I think.
Yeah, they like redid the first 6 episodes somehow and then made movies on them. I don't know all the lore and shit. I just like tore into them and I was like, I can't stop watching these. So I liked them a lot, man.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds up my alley.
I think I'm just going to try to focus on watching Chainsaw Man at some point. That one looks cool.
Chainsaw Man's pretty cool. I think, have you watched it, Hugh?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. So it just sounded like something you might have been into. It's pretty cool.
Is it?
Well, it looks awesome. Like just the visual aspect, I was like, all right. When this dude has a freaking chainsaw head and 2 chainsaw hands, I was like, well, okay. If you insist, I guess I'll watch.
Yeah, it's only like 8 or 9 episodes, I think. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu right now.
Like 30-minute episodes. So it's
hell yeah.
A whole lot.
Josh seems super interested in this.
Yeah,
anime
Josh.
stuff.
Josh would hate these. They're just like, ridiculous, over the top, blood spewing.
We'll go watch some more Dustin Hoffman movies.
I see your straw dogs back there.
Oh yeah, well,
that's pretty slick though.
Yeah, cool, man. Well,
yeah, I didn't watch anything. Slow week.
I'm gonna put it on the board real quick. Hold on, so I don't forget it.
Also watched Soldier of Orange, old Paul Verhoeven. Highly recommended. It's kind of tough to find though, but
yeah, you're supposed to bring it over. You forgot.
Yes. It's on its way. I was gonna actually see if you were free in the next couple days.
Cool. Yeah,
we'll just swing it by.
Definitely, yeah. I want to watch some more of his stuff.
That sounds cool.
I think Flesh Blood is on Tubi. So
yeah, I need to watch that one too.
That was gonna be my second pick, but I just didn't think it was quite as good as.
Well, Fresh is a good movie. I think I'm a little concerned. Josh may not like it. I don't think you'll hate it. I'm not sure. It's. I would say that movie is more my speed than Josh's, but it's also wouldn't surprise me if you really enjoyed it. Sebastian Stan's cool, man. He's a very cool dude. So like, I think you might dig it, man. I hope you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck whatever. I forgot.
I was gonna say, yeah, Flesh and Blood's been on my watch list for a while. I've almost done it on the show a couple of times, but I don't exactly know what to think about it. So I just never made the list.
Got a few Verhovens I need to knock off the list. I was watching Showgirls the other day. Never seen it before. That is a ridiculous movie.
Stinker, yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Versace.
It's hilarious.
I watched that movie like kind of in the same way that I watched The Fanatic. That's kind of how I watched Showgirls.
Definitely. Me and my wife were watching it together. We're like, this is a notoriously bad movie. Sorry.
Yeah. I saw it when I was a kid, and I totally hated it. And I was thinking the other day, like, man, I should give that another shot since I have a new appreciation for
cars. I was watching it. I was like, this is the most nudity I've seen in any like studio movie. I think it's got to be. There's there's
a lot of it.
It's a lot.
I watched. We did a viewing of Idle Hands last night. Me and Carissa watched it, and when that Scream Factory sale kind of happened, I went and bought that and April Fool's Day and something else. And I've been wanting the Scream Factory Idle Hands for a long time because I only had it on DVD. And I'm a huge fan of Devon Sawa. I'm a huge fan of Seth Green. Rancid's music was in that movie. The Offspring played a Ramones song live in the movie. They also played like a deep cut Offspring song from like before Smash came out that I know. And like he was wearing like an AFI shirt. Like all this stuff from that movie just really resonates with me. Like if you want to find a movie that you can go like really describes me as a person, honestly, it's probably that. It's like one of my favorite movies. I forget how much I like it. And then I'm watching it with Carissa, and there's so many things that I would never have been able to appreciate even 5 years ago, man. There's like a really direct, I guess, homage to Evil Dead with some of the like up close, like Bruce Campbell's face does, you know, like there's like the stuff like that. Dude, this movie could have easily been a Sam Raimi film, man. It so easily could have been. But man, I forgot how much I love that movie. And it because I didn't tell Carissa anything about it, so she didn't really know. Has any of y'all seen that movie yet?
I have. Long time
Okay.
ago.
So you kind of know, like, okay, so there's a I might bring this one up. I might bring this one up here soon into watching this channel because I think yeah, I know Hugh would like have fun with it. I think Josh would have fun with it. But it's a well-made movie for what it is. It's 1999, so there's enough. You know, it's got some practical effects in it. Some cool stuff happens. There's a few swerves you won't see coming, but that's what it was. I didn't tell Chris anything about it. So when it kind of reveals itself, like what's going on, she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yes, this is awesome." And it's just ridiculous shit.
I gotta see it.
It's fun, man. It's a fun movie.
I think Jennifer Love Hewitt too. I think.
No, it's got Jessica Alba.
Oh, Jessica Alba. Okay, that's one of Jessica Alba's first movies.
Yes.
Have you seen Party Monster with Seth Green?
Marilyn Manson's a bus driver.
Yeah, dude.
I haven't got on my Seth Green, run yet.
You don't know what you're missing out on, Mr. Josh.
He's saving space on his shelf for Seth Green section.
But yeah, he is. And then I watched Wild Zero.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Dude, like
I figured when I made it for you, I was like, oh, he's gonna love this movie.
Bro, I love that.
It was amazing.
Did you hear Carissa?
Yeah.
Dude, it was so weird. Like it was so just there's stuff, bro. Y'all have got to watch this movie with me sometime. And it's not very long either, but it's like if you took my brain but you taught it Japanese, that's what you'd get.
Yeah, weird, scary. Like it's zombies, right? So zombies,
sort of. Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
It's dude. It's like equal parts Kung Fury, Night of the Living Dead, and Mars Attacks. That's what it is, but in Japanese. Josh is like, I'm out. like
it looked very strange. I was like, he's gonna love this. I didn't know if you had seen it before.
No,
or not, but
I just requested it. It was like, I think this is right up my alley.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I mean, dude, like 10 minutes in, I was like, okay, I gotta get Crystal to watch this. I was awesome. Like, stop, take it out, put it on the big TV, dude. I mean, just like this dude's like in a mirror, like coming back as like Pompadour, and he's like listening to stuff, and they have like Japanese folks oftentimes emulate our pop culture in a way that I find very amusing, and also I appreciate it because you can see that they clearly love it. But it's for different reasons. So like we have like punk rock, and it started out as like a taking a stand. You know, it's almost strictly a fashion thing over there, or at least it was. I don't know what it's like now. I have no idea. But like as an example, at one point, dude's wearing a shirt that says punk. Dude, I could not stop laughing, dude. I was like, this is amazing. Like, because I guarantee you the guy wasn't doing it to be anything other than like a fan. Like there was no poser shit there. He was just like, dude, this is awesome. Just throw it on. Dude, hell yeah. Throw on a jacket over it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, you know, I can relate to that when I was a kid. I kind of felt the same way. Like I would have wore that when I was young, you know? It was cool, man. Cool. And there's a couple of twists that I was like, oh wow, this movie's 97 or whatever it is, super woke. Like there's some stuff there that you're like, oh, like back then it was probably super weird. Now it's just like normie. Like it's dude, wild movie, man. Hell of a good time.
Yeah, glad you liked it,
dude. Far better than Ant-Man. To nobody's surprise. Yeah. Cool, man. All right, everybody. We will see you guys on Tuesday next week for Fresh on Hulu with Sebastian Stan, and then what's that lady's name is in it? She's really good. Anyway, some
Edgar Jones, I think.
Some super pretty girl that's really good actors in it, and some weird shit happens. So go watch it on Hulu and hang out with us next week. We'll see y'all later. Folks, have a good night. Peace.